Welcome in, everybody. One Piece, Chapter 1164 spoilers have dropped. And I'm gonna be honest, it is a very straightforward chapter, so we might not be here for too long. Getting right into the brass tacks, if you have not read the spoilers for yourself, you can check it out down below. It will be the pinned comment. I'll link to the original source, and I'll type it up piece by piece so you can check it out there, because today, we're just here to talk. We're here to yap about the damn chapter. So, getting into it, Syvduck, he thinks that in the past, Davy Jones was the king of the world. Pretty cool stuff. Of course, this is just what Syvduck thinks. I do want to throw that out there. Davy Jones could have been king of the world, but we don't know for sure. It sounds like Syvduck doesn't even know for sure yet, right? And also, one thing I do want to point out, but we don't even know what king of the world necessarily looks like during the Void Century. That could mean anything. Current day, yes, you sit on the empty throne, you rule the world government. That is what that means. But in the past, the world government wasn't a thing yet. The empty throne wasn't a thing yet. So, king of the world, did that simply mean that Davy Jones ruled over every island with an iron fist? Kind of like how Yonkos have their territories? Was that what Davy Jones was like? Or no, like maybe Davy Jones was a part of the world government and they sat on the throne before Emu. There's a lot of questions we could spin off onto based off of Syvduck's comment here. Syvduck even goes as far as to ask Emu who he's more afraid of, Davy Jones or Joy Boy? And guess what happens? Nothing. Emu doesn't say a damn thing, which is hilarious, dude. You know, Emu could just give us so much knowledge, so much information, but they just never do, which does make sense, right? You know, you want to keep everything secret, hush hush. I get it. But still, Emu, we're in the final saga, man. Give us something. So we see that Syvduck, before he turns into a demon, he does try to resist it a little bit. He still retains a little bit of his consciousness in this chapter, which I think is huge. That's kind of what I wanted. Like, Domi Reversi rocks, I was always cool with it. I kind of saw that happening, but I just wanted him to, you know, tough it out a little bit, which we do get this chapter. But of course, all good things must come to an end, and when he does get fully transformed, he goes on to beat Kaido and Big Mom. Not shocking, right? Kaido's still young, doesn't know how to use his devil fruit that well yet. And then Big Mom, well, I can't really say too much about that one. People say she's not in her prime. I kind of agree with it. But at the same time, you know, this is the best looking Big Mom, so is she in her prime still? I don't know, man. Yeah. Syvduck is going around running the fade with everybody. Whitebeard is the next person we see tackle on Syvduck. He manages to block one of Syvduck's attacks, but that attack is so strong that according to the leakers, the left peak of God Valley gets absolutely destroyed. We don't know what happens to Whitebeard afterwards, because next up we just see that Rox turns his attention towards Garp and Roger, and we get a freaking 2v1 by the end of the chapter, which is kind of what Sengoku told us about, right? He said, hey, you know, Garp and Roger, they teamed up against Rox and his crew. The crew part is still yet to be seen, but of course, anything is possible, right? If Emu can Domi Reversi Rox, I think they could very easily Domi Reversi Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom. But maybe they can't. Right, we still do not know how Domi Reversi works. We still don't know if it's the homeland theory, if Emu just simply has to overpower you. There's still so many caveats about this, so anything is possible. I do want to throw that out there. One thing we do get, though, the reason why Rox is fighting Garp and Roger by the end of the chapter is because his original mission of killing his wife and son has failed. Yeah, that's right. This, to me, was the most shocking part about the spoiler drop. I did not see this coming. But Kuma, who is still on the island, ends up saving Eris and Teach. He paws them away, which, of course, that option was always there 2 chapters ago, but I was under the assumption that Kuma also was gone by this point. I was like, oh yeah, he saved his 500 people, they all said thank you, and then right after that, Kuma went home. Like, I thought that's what happened. No, Kuma is still here, and he saves both of them. Eris makes it off the island unscathed. Is she still alive today? Does she go on to later die? I don't know. And it's weird. Well, at least now it's weird, because when Teach joins Whitebeard's crew, he's described as an orphan. So his mom dies eventually, or maybe he lied about his mom being dead. Which, you know, obviously, going back to it, a lot of people do think that Eris is a solid candidate for being Mosa. And I never agreed with it, but here I am, like, eating my own words. Like, okay, I kind of see it. Now, one thing I do want to highlight is Kuma and Teach. When I saw this, I was like, okay, Kuma and Teach, have they ever interacted in the story? And I was like, yeah, like, they were in the same panel back during Marineford, right? Because they were all eating dinner, which is a great scene, by the way. You have all the warlords minus, like, one or two just eating food in the Holy Land. I thought that was awesome. But either way, I was like, okay, like, why didn't they say anything? Why did they exchange words? I feel like Teach would be very thankful to Kuma, damn near owing him his life. But then I stopped and I thought about the timeline, and it's like, wait a minute. The Kuma that Teach met, or should have met, that's not really Kuma, right? That's robot Kuma. So, you know, if Teach walks up to Kuma saying, hey, buddy, thanks for the save, Kuma wouldn't know who he is, because all of his memories would have been wiped by that point. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. It makes sense. And I do think there is some kind of poetry here. You know, we have so many callbacks to, like, Joy Boy and Davy Jones, like, in this chapter even. Like, hey, Davy Jones, Joy Boy, which one is worse, Emu? And Emu can't answer. And then we hear the whole thing about how Rox is looking for 2 devil fruits. We believe it's the Yama Yama Yanika fruit. It's not confirmed yet. That's what I just kind of think right now. And it's like, yeah, like, and here we have it. Another point on the graph where Joy Boy, Davy Jones, Luffy, Blackbeard, they kind of fall in that line. Where it's like, oh, Kuma saved Luffy at Sabaody, and Kuma also saved Blackbeard at God Valley. Yeah, Eris and Teach making it off. I don't know where to go with this. Like, I need to hold a poll. Like, is Eris still alive today, or is she dead? I just can't see her dying at this point. I don't think she would die that easily if she's not on this island, right? If Rox is after her, yeah, I could see her dying. But now that they're gone off of God Valley, it's like, maybe she lives? Or maybe Emu sends the God Knights after her. Like, hey, guys, you know, there was one Davy Clan member that escaped. We gotta find her. Or should I say 2, because it's her and Teach. And they start searching the world for her. Maybe Garling finds her, maybe Sommers finds her, and then they put her down. Because she can't just die to a nobody. I think that's my thing now. Like, okay, she's off the island. Surely it's not just like a disease that she gets out of nowhere. Surely she just doesn't lose to some bozo on the street. It's gotta be somebody significant if she does die. Or she's just not dead. I don't know, man. I feel like it's very 50-50 now. But yeah, getting back to the brass tacks, Rox comes back a little bit near the end. You know, he starts regaining some form of consciousness, and he does tell Roger and Garp to kill him, to put him down. And it's sad to see, man. You know, Rox, I've really come to enjoy him the past couple of months. So seeing him go like this, it is some sad stuff, man. But yes, that is it for the chapter. Like I said, it is super straightforward. I will not hold you guys hostage here for too long. But there is one more thing I do want to add in. Breaking news for the One Piece anime. But boys, we're going seasonal. That is right. From here on out, 2026 and beyond, One Piece will only be getting 26 episodes per year, and it will be split into 2 cores as well. What that means is that we'll get 13 in the first half and then 13 in the last half of each year. I personally think this is really good for pacing issues, for animation quality, and just giving the animators time to rest up, right? And to work on the project. I think across the board, this is a really good thing. Obviously, you know, me and Braga, we talked to Vincent Chansard a while back about the Luffy versus Kizaru scene. And he mentioned how that scene alone took him weeks and months on end. So it's like, yeah, like that was just like, what, 3 minutes of animation? So it's like, yeah, like if we want to have high quality episodes, we need to give these people more time to cook up. And of course, I think that does give a lot more distance in between the manga and anime. Another thing you don't want is for one to catch up to the other, because that's when you start running into like FMAB issues or Naruto issues where you have like just a lot of filler in between of like random arcs. So that's why overall, I think the anime taking these breaks in between is a good thing. Of course, we could have gotten like a, you know, Dressrosa remastered, Punk Hazard remastered, and etc. But I mean, we got the Wit Studio anime on the way in the next couple of years, so we could just simply wait for that for a better rendition of those arcs. I will say this though, I do kind of miss the era where we got crazy filler arcs. I don't know why, I think it's just nostalgia. But I did like the whole, oh, Little East Blue saga. Oh, here's the Straw Hats shopping after the island. Or, ooh, here's Don Achino and his family hunting down the Straw Hats for their bounties. Like, I did find those filler arcs a lot of fun, but of course, nowadays that's like harder and harder to do. But yeah, that's just me. Let me know what you guys think about the anime going seasonal, and let me know what you thought about this chapter down below. I'd really freaking appreciate it. Of course, we will be back tomorrow. Again, sorry that the spoilers are kind of shorter this time around. PewPeace even apologized too in his spoiler drop. He said, hey, sorry guys, didn't have too much time to write a proper re-spoiler, so wait for the full summary tomorrow. But that's just how it is. You guys take care. Thank you for watching this video, and peace out. Stay safe, brothers.